Hello, boys and girls. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy during their time at home. My name is Chopper. We just finished reading The Three Little Pigs, The Three Little Pigs, and The Somewhat Bad Wolf. And now we're going to read The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig.
The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. The first was black, the second was gray, and the third was white. One day the mother called the three little wolves around her and said, "My children, it is time for you to go out into the world. Go and build a house for yourself, but beware of the big bad pig." "Don't worry, mother, we will watch out for him," said the three little wolves, and they set off. Soon they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of red and yellow bricks. "Please, will you give us some of your bricks?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the kangaroo, and she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks. So the three little pigs built themselves a house of bricks. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw a house of bricks that the three little wolves had built. The three little wolves were playing crochet in the garden. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside and locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and grunted, little wolves, let me in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hairs of our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in. Not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, but the house didn't fall. But the pig wasn't called Big and Bad Pig for nothing. He went and fetched the sledgehammer, and he knocked the house down. The three little wolves only just managed to escape before the bricks crumbled, and they were frightened indeed. "We shall have to build a stronger house," they said. Just then they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in the concrete mixer. "Please, will you give us some of your concrete?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the beaver, and he gave them buckets, and the buckets full of messy, slurry concrete. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of concrete. No sooner had they finished than the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of concrete that the little wolves had built. They were playing battledore and shuttlecock in the garden, and when they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside and shut the door. The big pig ran the doorbell and said, "Little frightened wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little pigs. "By the hairs of our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but the house didn't fall. The three little pigs, when the pig called big, but the pig wasn't called Big and Bad for nothing. He went and fetched his pneumatic drill and smashed the house down. The three little wolves managed to escape, but their chinny chin chins were trembling and trembling and trembling. "We shall build an even stronger house," they said, but they were very determined. Just then they saw a truck coming along the road carrying barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates and heavy metal padlocks. Please, will you give us some of your barbed wire, a few metal bars and armed plates, and some heavy metal padlocks? They said to the rhinoceros who was driving the truck. Sure, said the rhinoceros, and he gave them plenty of barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. He also gave them some plastidulas and some reinforced steel chains, because he was a generous, kind-hearted rhinoceros. So the three little wolves built themselves an extremely strong house. It was the strongest, securest house only one could imagine. They felt absolutely safe. The next day, the big pig came prowling along the road as usual, and three little wolves were playing hopscotch in the yard. When they saw the big bad wolf coming, they ran inside their house, bolted the door, and locked all the 37 padlocks. The pigs dialed the video entrance phone and said, "Frightened little wolves with trembling chins, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the little wolves. "By the hairs of our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed, and he huffed and he puffed, and the house did not fall. But the pig wasn't called the big bad wolf for nothing. He brought some dynamite, laid it against the house, lit the fuse, and the house blew up. And the three little pigs managed to escape, with their fluffy tails scorched. "Something must be wrong with our building materials," they said. They had to try something different. But what? At that moment, they saw a flamingo coming along, pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. "Please, will you give us some flowers?" said the little wolves. "With pleasure," said the flamingo, and he gave them lots of flowers. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of flowers. One wall was of marigolds, one was of daffodils, one was of pink roses, and one was of cherry blossoms. The ceiling was made of sunflowers, and the floor was carpet of daisies. They had water lilies in their bathtub, and buttercups in their refrigerator. It was a rather fragile house, but it swayed in the wind, but it was very beautiful. The next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of flowers that the three little wolves had built. He rang the doorbell and said, "Little frightened wolves with trembling chins and scorched tails, please let me in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves, "but by the hairs of our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. But he took a deep breath, ready to huff and puff. He smelled the soft scent of flowers. It was fantastic, and because the scent was so lovely, the pig took another breath, then another. Instead of huffing and puffing, he began to sniff. He sniffed deeper and deeper until he was quite filled with the fragrant scent. His heart grew tender, and he realized how horrible he had been. Right then, he decided to become a big, good pig. He started to sing and dance the tarantella. At first, the three little wolves were a bit worried. It might be a trick, but they soon realized that the pig had truly changed. So they came running out of the house, and they started playing games with him. First they played Pig Pog, and then Piggy in the middle, and then they were all tired, so they invited him into the house. They offered tea with strawberries and wolfberries, and they asked him to stay as long as he wanted. The pig accepted, and they all lived happily ever after. And that was the three little wolves and the big bad pig.